So you mentioned it earlier. I feel like we should oblige the listeners and talk about 4-H parents.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That could be a whole episode in itself.
Yeah, that's very possible.
So,
I'll let you take the handle on this one for a minute. I want to see what you got to say.
I
You
don't
probably got a lot.
necessarily think it wasn't as bad when you're younger. Obviously, we've stated that previously in this episode, but like they weren't all as hard on you. They didn't necessarily care as much. Like they could help you more, but then once you start getting up into middle school or high school, they're like, you need to be out there. At least my parents were, or well, my dad was like, you need to be out there by 7 every morning. You need to feed. You got to walk. You got to do this. And it just came so much of a chore and a hassle. And it was like, why am I doing this? It used to be fun. Mm-hmm. And it just became awful. And it was like, okay, you need to walk it got to the point where they're like, you need to walk 2 times a day and blah, 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 and rinse. And it wasn't like we didn't do it. It's called we didn't do it when they wanted us to. And we just got screamed at because we didn't. And then it got worse as Brett got out of 4-H. It was just me. And I had more animals, so I had a lot of more shit to do. And I liked keeping things a certain way in the barn, and that was just me. And then my dad being an asshole, like, even though he knew I was going to do it, he knew I'm going to feed, like, he knew I was going to clean pens, he'd just get on me every single time I would go to the barn and, like, yell at me for the stupidest stuff and act like I'm dumb and I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm like, I've done this for, like, 15 years. I think I know what I'm doing by now. And he would just, and that just made, especially this year, awful. Like, being constantly ridiculed about something that you've done a million times is, like, it just sucks.
Definitely. I feel like the best comparison for 4-H parents is sports parents. It's the closest comparison easily, which me and Noah has talked about in the past a little bit. I feel like 4-H parents at times are probably worse because there's more money involved in 4-H. Like, you can make more money off of, like, sports scholarships and shit like that. But when it comes to 4-H and stuff and, like, paying for livestock and paying for transport and paying for feed and all this, there's a lot more money wrapped up in the project. And it's a project that only lasts, depending on what it is, maybe 6 months.
Yeah.
Max. And so it's very... Let's just say the fair can be a great time. The thing that makes it terrible are the parents.
They're not, like, chill. Most of them aren't chill. They aren't, like, back. They're stressed. They're so stressful, and it makes you stressed and angry the whole fair. And
they need some weed. I'll say it.
They just need, like, a chill pill. Like, they need to calm down.
That's what I just said.
Okay, whatever. I mean, most of the parents that are 4-H parents were in 4-H themselves, but it seems like they can't make that connection with their kid of like, oh yeah, I was in their spot. I was mad at my parents because they used to get on me.
But I don't know if they were, because I feel like back in the day it was more like, at least for what I hear from most 4-H parents nowadays, is like, oh, I did it all on my own. I didn't have to do anything, blah, blah, blah.
My parents didn't help me.
It's like now they try... forcing it on you and then making it unfun.
Yeah.
And it hasn't become about the experience. It's become about your results.
Yeah. Or like this year being my 10th year, my dad was like, well, when I was 18, I was hauling my animals by myself and my dad only showed up on show day and was doing all this. And I was like, okay, do I care? No, not really. It's a completely different time. It was only me. My dad had 3 siblings. It was only me by myself with a lot more animals. Like, at times I would enjoy the help. Like, it would have been great. But at other times I was like, leave me the hell alone. You're pissing me off.
Yeah, show day is definitely the the roughest.
This show
typically.
day was the chillest
It
show
was
day
so
I've
easy.
ever had.
It really was. It was the easiest I've ever seen on us, anyways.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I feel like even with other people, it wasn't terrible.
Yeah, I don't know.
was
I
so
guess it was
weird.
maybe this year they were like, okay, this is our first fair back to normal. Let's just chill.
Yep.
Like, it was the calmest, most chill show day for swine that I've ever seen.
Which for Tipton, swine is
Very
the
competitive.
the biggest livestock when it comes to like the shit people care about.
Mm-hmm.
But it's easily the most competitive, like Bailey said. We're like one of the top counties in the
Indiana.
state for swine. That comes to both swine quality and showman quality. And me and Bailey both saw that when we went to Hamilton County's fair and watched part of their swine show Saturday. Because neither of that was located in Hamilton County. All of it was in Tipton. We took all the swagger because it was quite embarrassing to watch.
It was so hard to watch.
It boosted my damn ego. I wanted to go out there and show all these kids what the hell to do. I was like, damn, like...
Coming
okay.
from like a very competitive county and going to watch other counties that are either smaller or not as competitive,
Makes me want to cry.
It's so hard to watch. Like, it's a pain. Like, if you're a showman,
It
you know
hurts.
it's a painful thing to watch. Like, it hurts you so bad to sit back and have to watch this. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do next year being out of 4-H, and because I know I'm gonna want to go to the shows, but not being in there and not showing it's gonna feel different. I feel like it's gonna hurt a little bit. It's gonna make me a little sad, but like. Going to another county and watching it was so painful.
Yeah.
I was like biting my fingernails at how awful it was.
Mm-hmm. It's something else, that's for sure. I feel like we should do adult showmanship one year.
I do too. We did that. Tipton did that for a couple years and they stopped.
No one did it. Well, I'm saying we should do it. And
I know.
then see who's the better showman.
It would definitely be me.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Bailey always
100%.
thought she was some hot shit.
I was better than you.
I got called back my senior year.
So did I when I did showmanship. I got called back every year -1.
What?
And I got called back at state fair.
What?
Shut up.
No. I don't know about that. Yeah, but you know who was in my fucking...
Oh, I know.
You know who was in my
Mine
senior
isn't any
class.
better. You know who's in mine too. I still have really good showmen.
I had more people. I had more people in my senior showmanship than you did.
Well, probably, but also not all of them were good.
People that was in it? I had like Keaton. I had...
Sylvia, Claire.
No, they were out. My
Sylvia
tenure.
would have been...
My tenure.
Not your tenure, but Sylvia would have been
Would have
when
been
you
in
were...
there at one point. I had a lot of really good people. I'm blanking on them now, but like
Yeah, I know you mean.
even Rachel. I had a bunch of people that were really, really good. And every year I was like, oh, shit. I never looked forward to it because I was like, I know who I was going up against. And
It just makes you so discouraged. But, like, if you are a shower and you're listening, just do showmanship. Just do it.
Really? You didn't do it this year?
I didn't do it because I didn't want to.
Oh, okay. Well,
But,
if
like,
you don't want to, don't do it. But if you
I'm
do...
just saying...
Uh-huh.
Shut up. I'm just saying I would just do it. It's an experience. You end up paying more attention to it when you get older from when you're younger. And, like, it's so much easier to tell, like, showman quality while you're watching. Like, just watching Hamilton County's fair, it was so much easier to point out people's mistakes. Or when I didn't do senior
Because they were
showman.
all mistakes.
Yeah. Well, and when I was watching senior showmanship at Tipton, I didn't show, so I sat front and center, and I had friends in there, and I was like giving them signals and be like, do this, because I could see everybody's mistakes, and I could look at everybody at the same time, and I was like, okay, this person messed up here. Like, I don't know.
Which I feel like part of that's because when you're in the moment, it's hard to pick up on the shit you're not doing properly. So, like,
and it's
that
nerve-wracking.
happens. It is. It really is. Especially at Tipton. It's so nerve-wracking, and depending on your parents.
Parents have a big deal with it.
So I feel like that's what makes it nerve-wracking. The competition is in itself, but it's definitely how your family's going to respond more than anything, at least for you and me, it was.
I feel like they stopped necessarily giving us pointers or saying stuff as we got older. But when we were younger, it was so awful. If we made little mistakes, we got yelled at, like ridiculed for things. But like as we got older, they realized they're not going to listen anyway because it just pisses them off. Or I would tell them, I'd be like, don't tell me anything. Just don't. I already know what I messed up on. I don't need 5 people telling me the same stuff I already know. Leave me alone.
And I feel like in that scenario, they were like, well, they didn't want to listen to our critiques. And it's like, it's not necessarily that.
And most of the time, you're a lot harder
on... make us feel like we didn't do good.
Exactly. And most of the time, you're harder on yourself anyway. You already know your mistakes. I don't really want to get repeated the same thing to me 10 times.
Yeah. And especially when most of the time the judge tells you
exactly what you mess up. Yeah.
So you don't need your family to necessarily tell you the same shit. Mm-hmm. But it's always fun.